Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Dilyer Stevens titled Closure. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on Spotify. I think it's his opening release, is it? Has he got anything else on Spotify? Oh, this is good. I like this. We've got a bit of play. We've got 2,500 plays. Is pretty good for a starting track. Cool. We're gonna be listening through this track from start to finish to hear what we think. Let's go. Closure. A lot of MIDI resonance with those synths there.
I thought I wouldn't change lives. Lied to myself, but it every day. Let's just be honest. We always wanted things to stay the same.
It's kind of nice to have his vocals over top of the bass. There's a freshness to that build from the intro as well. I mean, this track is less than 4 minutes. We got plenty of time for this stuff. It's pretty well mixed. I dig it. Oh, vocal harmonies. That bass line is perky and energetic, going all the way from the root note and back.
Now I'm pitch black, how do I get closure? If I always had you, yeah. If I always had you, yeah. Will I ever have things that I want? Things that are good for me, trying to hold on to all the memories. Oh yeah, so sad. My friends come and go down in quicksand. I just wanna go, just
Cool. I mean, the drums are working well in the mix. I don't know why my brain is like, they should be louder. I think they're actually fine in the mix. It's tricky with drums because a lot can depend on the mastering chain as well, but I think they're placed well. It was nice to have the space in that bridge there. The vocals were interesting enough with the vocal harmonies. I feel like if there was a second bridge, you might want to have an additional element there in that bridge just to kind of shake things up before the second chorus. We're doing well so far.
My heart can take this accusation. My next song is called Accusations. If y'all so thought to move away from me, spending time in my school slimes. Funny how you'd believe such things about me, and I don't even know why. Needless to say, I'm going away. Y'all in my world up, now I'm pitch black. How do I get closure? If I always had you.
I have to be honest, I'm confused about where we are. Usually I can sort of mentally calculate whether we're in a verse or a bridge or a chorus section, but I can't tell if like this is an extended chorus or not. We had the hook line, but sounds like another bridge, is it?
I just wanna go back. I 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 wanna go back.
He's very explorative. He's very explorative with those legato passages there. I'm not usually a massive fan of them. Unless like I can understand the context to them. I think I understand the context of this one. I remember receiving a threat of a lawsuit one time when I criticized someone, because half the song was just, that kind of stuff, and it's just like half the song was that, and it didn't really, add to the experience. But we're getting through the song now, a closure, and it's okay if we want to flex a little bit. That's cool, as long as it makes sense with the subject matter of the song, you know.
You've been pretending for most of my life. Had 5 real ones there in 11. Even justice forgot its gift. You don't have to stay and still lie. You've been pretending for most of my life. The truth is I'll forever be a sovereign dear. Y'all in my water. Now I'm pitch black. How do I get closure? If I
Interesting. There's a lot going on in this track in regards to the story in there. From what I can tell so far, we're talking about him being disrespected by people and wanting to go back to when things were a lot simpler. I could be wrong about that. That's the crux of it as I understand it. Build time? We've got an additional layer of subtle pad thing going on and maybe backing vocals, which is nice. That quarter note groove. Oh no, the eighth note groove. There's a quarter note accent on the kicks and snares, but there's an eighth note on the hi-hats.
If I always had you, yeah. I always said you, yeah, you, yeah. Will I ever have things that I want?
Good. There was a little fill there. I really appreciated that. It's nice to have little bits of change with the percussion from time to time, you know?
That I could find me trying to hold on to all.
Especially when everything sounds really good together, you then can only focus on how the song's been structured and stuck together, you know?
I wanna go back. I wanna go back. I wanna go back. I wanna go back.
Yeah, we love it. We love our long legato passages. That's cool, man. It's an occasional thing. It's not like it suddenly turned into like a Mariah Carey kind of like half of it. Not that I have an issue with Mariah Carey doing it or anything. It's just if it doesn't make sense in regards to like if someone was calling out for help or like had a lot to get off their chest, or if it was like different each time, but it was like harmonizing really well a lot of instruments and you needed to do more in order to really stand out, I get it.
I wanna go back. I wanna go back.
That was nice how that paused there. Nicely paused there. That was great. He just let the boom, just that boom. They just fade out there. That was a smart move. We didn't need more than that. It was good as it was. Great job to Dilyer Stevens in Closure. You know, I suppose this is the review, isn't it? I've talked about what I think the song is about. I think the song was, again, about who wanted to go back to when times were simpler, his friends coming and going, which is a shame, you know? Like, I don't know how Dilyer Stevens is, but I think when you get to your mid-20s, especially when people start having kids and getting married and stuff, you realize who your real friends are. They'll be the ones that maybe weren't as true to you as they were to the party lifestyle, you know. Lots of other things. But hopefully Dilyer Stevens is doing better now. He's a good singer. If he continues to sort of develop his vocal technique, and yeah, I'm loving the fact that those vocal harmonies came through as crystal clear as it did. Yeah, lovely coloration and textures to it. It was interesting listening to his vocals. I think the length of the song at 3.5 minutes was as long as it needed to be. I think if we'd had a longer song than this or an additional verse, it would have been a little bit too luxurious. You know, it can be meaningful, and sometimes when something's less is more. You know what I mean? Not that I think this song should have had less. I think it was really beautiful to listen to. Again, Dilyer Stevens had a nice voice to listen to. Some lovely harmonies there. The bass, synth, and backing vocal parts and some of the pad parts were great. You know, the element, the colorations of those, the way they were stacked, and the frequency spectrum there. Those were all fine. I've got no real complaints about the instrumentation of it. I'm glad that we took bits away and included them back in. We didn't have an overly complicated chord progression or bass line or anything. We weren't doing like a classical Baroque piece or something like that. But we had a couple of different chord progressions, I think, in bass lines. Or maybe it was just the one there was enough change that like it seemed like there was more than that, you know what I mean? But yeah, and the recording, mix, and mastering was great. Everything sounded nice and neat in the mix. I think, you know, I mentioned the drums sounding a little bit quiet initially. I think they were actually fine. Again, I've had these headphones a little bit lower than usual because when you have your music turned up quite loud, what can happen is it equalizes the frequencies, and it sounds better because our ears love it. Our ears love it when music is loud. They love it. They just, well, not really because we can get hearing damage, but they basically louder stuff ends up better because we're getting a flattened frequency response due to the amount of noise pressure. Whereas if you have your headphones down more quietly, it's easier to mix and hear how good the mix actually is, you know? Yeah, I really hope Dilyer Stevens continues to put out more music. Closure was a great start. I wish the best of luck to Dilyer in future. But effectively, this is my review of Dilyer Stevens' Closure. Hopefully you enjoyed this track. If you did, please do go show Dilyer Stevens some love on his various social medias and his Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians. And I don't know why I did this. Usually I do that at the end of the review. My brain is just apparently not working today. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.